So do you mind?
Okay, recording. All right, folks, welcome to the Agricultural Commission. Thursday, April 15th, 2021. I have a little ditty I need to read. So the town of Lunenburg, in response to the COVID-19 coronavirus, is currently following the guidance from the Lunenburg Board of Health, Massachusetts Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus and steps communities can take to prevent the spread, and all town facilities are currently closed to the public, which I think I need to update because I think they do have limited hours, I think from 10 to 2 that they're open, but in accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, all public meetings are being conducted. This meeting may be broadcast live through local access cable, on Facebook Live, on the public access Facebook page, and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link below, useless, in the public meeting webinar. Or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-449. Oh. And enter meeting ID 824-6081-9391. Again, meeting ID 824-6081-9391. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name. I have people in the waiting room. Man. There we go. I think Stephanie's finally on. Anyways, that's about the end of the spiel. If you're not here, you're probably not going to be. Stephanie Stobadog. Okay. All right. So we have called to order. I called to order at 7 o'clock. Public comment, open discussion. Anybody?
I had a few things I just want to check on. It's Mary Ray.
Okay.
Probably more geared towards Steph. If the issue you brought up last time about the horse farm, if that got resolved or where that's at. And then I didn't know if anyone was aware of the situation on Arbor Street with the horse farm, if that got brought to the AgCom's attention.
Hi, Mary. So, sorry. I don't know of any resolution regarding the property for sale. I shouldn't say that. The ad, the realtor ad, no longer, they did change it. So I think that is all set. I haven't heard anything further.
Good.
Okay. And as far as the Arbor Street, I again, I dropped the ball. I haven't followed up. I still, to be perfectly honest, have not sent that letter out that we put together, was it 6 or 8 months ago now? My bad. I'm not going to throw any excuses out there. I don't know why I haven't gotten to it. So if you know of anybody that has an issue, if they're the complainer or they're being complained about, please just ask them to come to a meeting. And I've also, this is the first agenda that I added item number 3 for farm complaints. And since this is the body that's supposed to be hearing farm complaints, I think that would be I'd like to leave it there, and I'm open to suggestions. But just as a general category, if there ever is a complaint and we've got it on the agenda, we can hear it. And if we know of one, if we know there's one coming up, I can put more information there. But because we only meet once a month, and people who complain or people who are being complained about often would like it resolved shorter than a month period, I think that's probably a good idea to have on our agenda.
Yeah, has everyone read the letter and like agreed to it and we can send it out?
Oh, yeah. No, everybody read it, and everybody, we voted unanimously to approve sending it out, and it's all on me. It's my bad. I haven't.
Oh, no. I just didn't know if anyone.
Yeah, no. I think we may have even gotten a new police chief since we approved the letter.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So, Mary Ray, is there anything more that you want to add about the Arbor Street issue? Or
So-
any more?
Yeah,
No, I
Mary,
can
can-
ask
can-
him.
oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say, can you, I wasn't aware of it, so just for the sake of the meeting, can you just debrief us on what the issue was?
I want to say it was an issue with manure management. I know the conservation committee's been involved with it, but he does have horses, which would make it an agricultural issue. So that's why I would hope we could be of benefit to him if we needed to be. I don't know where he's at. I know he had to go to a Zoom meeting for them, but I can check in with him and see if he'd like to join us next month if it's still an ongoing issue. But I believed they might have told him that he was all set where he was a part of agriculture. Because Matt, we don't have a manure management plan, correct, in town?
I don't think so. I mean, I know there's, and it might be a state thing. I can reach out to MDR. They do have recently in the last year or two have made regulations for phosphorus plan. If you're spreading manure on more than 5 acres, they require you to prepare and submit a phosphorus loading plan or something to that. That was my thought when I heard manure management is I don't know that there are any existing regulations, and if there are, there's probably a required threshold. Like if you've got more than 5 horses, you have to have a manure management plan, because to regulate people with 1 or 2 horses is over regulating, I believe, and it's not a good idea. Just like I said, the people who spread manure on their fields, it's only 5 acres or more. So if you've got an acre that you spread manure on, then you shouldn't have to go through all that crap. Literally.
This was a neighbor complaint or a town complaint?
A new neighbor complaint, they just moved in next door. But I believe when he had bought the property, he put a road in, and it sounded like he was within his property lines and being deemed agriculture, he was all set. I'll have to double check it with him and see if he wants to join next month's meeting if he's not all set. But I do know an Conservation Commission member did go out and meet with him.
Is that even in their jurisdiction? I thought their jurisdiction was wetlands and.
I'm wondering if that is also an issue, wetlands, because I know the property and I believe there might be some, so I don't know if that's the issue.
Okay, yeah, that's.
I'm not a biologist or a chemist or anything like that, but I can't imagine that horse manure is going to be a big issue for wetland.
It can't be though. How many cow farms do we have in town that have wetlands in their pastures and ponds and?
Well, cows are a little different. I actually, again, I don't know. So I probably shouldn't even be saying it, but I do know that there's phosphorus in cow manure, and phosphorus can be detrimental, but I don't know about the horse. I mean, I grew up on Flat Hill, and we've got a handful, if not more, horse farms around, and I haven't heard anything. I've never heard about, well, no, I can't say that. I did hear about it, and I don't remember what it was or who I heard it from, but it was years back. So hopefully I can read up on it. I can ask. MDAR is a really good resource. They're Mass Department of Agricultural Resources. And they've got a wealth of information on their website, and they are very pleasant people to talk to if you need to ask a question. So they would be my go-to for information like that.
Okay.
All right. If we're done talking about that, is there any other public comment or open discussion?
Yeah, so this is Stephanie. I have one. Someone had raised a question. They live in Hickory Hills and they wanted to have chickens. But the Hickory Hills Homeowners Association has a clause against that. So they were just wondering where Lunenburg is a right to farm community, does that trump the homeowners association bylaw regarding restricting the ownership of and maintaining chickens on their property? And I didn't know the answer. I don't know if anybody here knows, or if it's something we need to look into.
Well, that's not the first time that that specific question and issue has come up. It is a fact that the landowners association does have in its, I believe, their bylaws, a clause restricting livestock. In conversation with numerous people in Hickory Hills, in the landowners association, and others, I understand it to be a don't ask, don't tell policy. It is on the books, and the right to farm does not trump a landowners association. They're like a condo association. So like Cortland Circle is next to me. They're a condo association, and whatever their regulations state about the property that the people live on, it trumps bylaws.
I'll let them know.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I am aware, or I understand, that there are at least a few people with some animals that may not be approved. As long as nobody complains. I mean, who doesn't like having eggs? Who doesn't like having bacon? Who doesn't like having their poison ivy eaten by an animal? It's on the books, so technically it is enforceable by the landowners association. So that's about all I need to say about that, I think.
Mm.
Thanks. And I think they were advised that they couldn't have the chickens, so that's why they were asking. Somebody must have an issue with it.
A lot of people have a lot of issues.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, any more comments or discussion?
Do we have an update on the lettuce farm? What's the,
They came to us with a de minimis change at planning board, and I just last week signed off on their new plans. No update really. They were gung ho to get all their permits and get everything squared away. And I think as far as my knowledge goes, they are completely approved and ready to start building. They were going to do it in 2 phases. They were going to do half and half. I think the total was, I'm not going to quote wrong numbers, but they're probably going to start construction very shortly if they haven't already. Oh, there was something else that came up. They needed to raise their footprint for some reason, but it's not anything to do with agriculture. They're still supposedly growing lettuce. So, oh, and since we're in the open comment and it's not on the agenda, I'm going to mention to anybody who's not aware, Pierce's Tree Farm on 13. They are applying for the APR. And my understanding is that the intention is once it's APR'd, they're to transfer it to Steve Bylaw of Dick's Market. So my understanding is that Dick is going to work with them and start doing orchard as well to add to his gardening stuff. So it's a nice big chunk of property that's going to be protected for perpetuity, which is good.
I think because we have an AgCom, I think we saved the town 10%.
Yes,
Supposed to be 20% the town's gonna kick in, but now it's 10%, which I think it's like, what, $65,000?
60 something. Yep.
60 something $1,000, which is good. So,
Yep. And that brings up another point is that I think Lonnie Orchard is still waiting on their APR to come through. They got close to 600,000. And it was last year, maybe even before that Jerry Lonnie started asking around town about a sewer extension to sewer his property. Now, I think it's a good idea. I do think that it could have detriment in some ways. And I think that with discussion that we could flush all the things out and plan appropriately for it. The town has made a considerable investment in these APR properties. And I think there were 10, including Lonnie. So I think Pierce would be 11. And the town has made a considerable investment, as well as the state has a sizable investment in preserving those properties and keeping them in productive agriculture. So I feel that it would benefit everybody if the town showed support for that by potentially allowing for infrastructure that helps those parcels flourish. Because, you know, as we all know, you get a piece of land, you get some dirt, you stick some seeds in it. It's not a money-making venture. If you can find something to add value to your property and your products, then that's a benefit to everybody, as far as I can see. And so if you ever hear of anything about infrastructure expansion, keep your ear open for maybe there's a reason that it's going to benefit farmers. It's something that we've talked about in planning, and hopefully we'll start talking more seriously about it. So I think that's about it. So I mentioned earlier, I added farm complaints, so that's number 3, right after public comment, open discussion. And I think that'll be a good placeholder if we get somebody that just off the cuff either wants to make a complaint or wants to represent themselves as being the target of a complaint. I guess I don't know my words are proper, but I feel for people that move here and want to keep their home, their new property, their family comfortable. But I also feel for the people who farm, and I don't want to be seen as I'm all for farms and all against people who live in houses and families and whatnot. But it is what it is, and when push comes to shove, I don't feel that I pull punches. I feel that I speak straightforward and say, well, this is the rules, this is the regulations, this is what they're allowed to do, this is what you're allowed to do. And one person's allowances don't overstep or trump another person's allowances. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about current society. So anyways, we need to be just, and level-headed and fair for everyone, but sticking to the bylaws and the rights of farmers to farm. So, minutes approval. I don't know if you looked at the agenda, but I didn't put any dates there because I still have not done the minutes. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is. I haven't done them. Hopefully I will get to them and we have a whole bunch of them to approve. I'm already violating statute. We're supposed to have them, I think it was every 3 meetings or 3 months or something, but we're severely behind. Again, my fault. So, new business. First item there is Jorge Marzuka. His term is expiring this year. Elaine from the town, I'm not quite sure what Elaine's actual title is. She's administrative assistant to the town manager. She's administrative assistant to the select board, I think. But anyway, she reached out to let me know that Jorge's term is coming up. And I'd love to have Jorge stay with us. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but Elaine is looking for, well, for one, interest in continuing being reappointed from Jorge, and two, she wants just a recommendation. So that's what that's about. And it'll be after the town meeting. So sometime mid-May. Basically, I think you may or may not even need to fill out a talent bank form again because you've already filled one out and you've already been serving. But I think it's just a matter of a recommendation from me based on input from the members, and then you'll get scheduled for a select board meeting, and they'll just go through the reappointment process. So I assume you're still interested. Yes. Okay. Excellent. So I will prioritize that and get an email off to Elaine with a recommendation. Does anybody have anything they want to say about Jorge being reappointed?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, so that's that. Any questions about the appointment, the reappointment, the expiration of terms?
Mhm.
Okay. So the other thing I left on was the review and approve flyer to advertise and promote the Agricultural Commission. I don't know if Mary Ray has heard from her friend. I have not.
I had a meeting with him today. I'm working on my list to get permission to put the farms in the flyer. So far, Lanny's has given me permission, Flat Hill, In the Meadow Farm, Stillman Dairy, Oak Tree, Homestead and Forge, Jorge. If you'd give us permission, we'd like to list you. I've reached out to and still waiting on responses from Dick's, Snow Place, and Parker Farm, which have all responded to messages from me in the past. So I'm sure they'll get back to me. They're probably just busy.
Okay, super.
And then Greg is reaching out to Cherry Hill. Ryan, you got an answer from Highland Farm, correct?
Yep. There you go.
So just cranking away on the list. And then I didn't know, I had a separate meeting with Chris today, but had asked him a few questions. I just don't know how we want to format the flyer, if we want to have a separate section for the farms and towns that have retail operations and then list what they offer. If we want to just have a big map of Lunenburg and have like a key that says like retail or privately farmed or something like that, just so we're not excluding anyone. But I don't know where to draw the line on privately farmed.
Yeah, I know I was kind of a stickler about making sure that we got permission before we put them in there, but that, as far as I can see, is the only thing that I'm overly concerned about. I think that just getting it out, I mean, this is our first one. We haven't done anything like this before. As far as I know, Lunenburg hasn't done anything like that before. So I think the sooner the better, because the season is coming upon us quickly, and the more advertising that we can provide, the better. And we're probably not going to get it perfect the first time. And I think that striving for perfection is not probably the best thing anyway. So I honestly would be fine with whatever you guys come up with. It would be nice if actually, I think we probably should at least see it and approve it as a commission before we get it printed. But I'm comfortable with giving you a very long lead on that.
Okay, I'll work with Chris and get something drafted up for the next meeting so we can approve it and get printing on it and stuff like that. Can you just send me the maps that you have through email so I can forward them on to Chris, or we could do a three-way email with him?
I can. The PDF, I've got a PDF of the farm map, and I think it's fairly large in file size, and it may be overkill for a flyer, but and honestly, I don't know how it will reproduce on a smaller scale, because I did it in AutoCAD and then printed it to a PDF. So the PDF is amazing. You can zoom way in and everything is crystal clear, but again, the file size is really huge, and I don't know how it would reproduce in a smaller version. But I certainly am open to working with you guys on that, and I certainly can provide it to you.
Awesome, thanks. Does anyone, before we do a draft, does anyone have anything they'd like to add, or about the key or how to divide it up or anything?
We should try to emphasize on keeping it simple. I mean, especially if it's like a flyer. I don't know. I'm not giving. I don't know how to do that, but I mean, is a map the best thing? Like, who's going to look at a map to see? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if wherever we hand this out or mail it out, just want to try to keep it simple.
Instead of a map, is there like a statistic we could use and just put a little quote of the statistic then? How many acres in land in Lunenburg are farmed, and then just do a list of all the ones that have the retail, and then put a blurb of the farmer's market and the right to farm bylaw.
Yeah, I think something along the lines of people. It's almost like when you get like the voting things in the mail. You just kind of like glance at them, and if it grabs your attention, you just want to dig a little deeper. But I don't know. But yeah, maybe like something along with some quick facts about the farms in Lunenburg, maybe some history real quick, and the list of the retail ones and the ones that are kind of open to the public. Maybe. I mean, we all know the list of ones that are, private, and they do their things and sell their goods, but they don't want a constant like weekend flow of cars or something,
Okay.
Right.
I'll send him the town website and see what he can, because he has an eye for this kind of stuff too, so he can pick stuff what he sees and ask us questions, and then we'll have something ready to vote on next meeting.
Super.
Awesome.
All right, and I can also share with you the spread. I'm pretty sure it's a spreadsheet with the. I think it's something over 40 farms, and that spreadsheet includes. It runs the gamut. It's from the people who don't invite public to their farm, all the way through the retails like Dick's and Lonnie's. So and I can also. I'll give you, I think there's 15, maybe 20 people that I've already confirmed with that they're comfortable being advertised like that as well. So that'll hopefully boost our check marks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And does anyone know like Still Life Farm? You know how they have the farmers markets on Saturdays at Stillman's on Lancaster Ave? They have like a pop-up. They have like a pop-up spring market. I don't know if we include them or they're not in Lunenburg, but they're selling in Lunenburg. So
Yeah, I think we talked about that last meeting, didn't we? We've
Is it-
talked at a meeting.
isn't it
That-
Still Life? I think it's Still Life Farm.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. I think that we should promote the occurrence in Lunenburg. And if it requires us to promote farms outside of Lunenburg, I don't have a problem with that either.
Isn't it a Stillman or a Jacobs or something? I don't know the correct. There's some kind of tie in there somewhere.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, another thing that I just popped into my mind is the Ritter Memorial. They're doing a handicap accessible study. They're getting an existing conditions plan prepared, and I don't know if there may be some construction going on there during our market season. If there is, it may impact our market, and I just want everybody to be aware and maybe put on our thinking caps. I think if we had to have the market somewhere else for 1 or 2 Sundays, we might be able to move back into the old primary grass, but we'd lose our visibility. So anyways, I just wanted to bring that up and make everybody aware that I haven't asked about the plans. So I just know that it's in the works. So I just want to make everybody aware of that too.
If we need to, Powell's is still closed on Sunday, and I believe the offer is still on the table to host it there in the front of the building,
Okay,
if we need to.
okay. We'd lose a lot of the regulars maybe that come on foot, but that's pretty well-trafficked area.
Yeah, that's a Leominster. Yeah, that's a pretty good. Leominster Shirley Road's a pretty good travel
Yeah.
road.
So anyways, I will try to follow up and ask some people some questions about it, and hopefully we'll stay ahead of that. If it does turn into a necessity, hopefully we'll be able to pre-plan and advertise well in advance.
Awesome.
But again, I don't know that it's even going to be an issue. So our last new business item is discuss potential social media for AgCom.
Yeah, I texted Mary Ray, just about her idea on it. And like I said, I'm pretty good. I follow the one from Rutland, but again, we can't say it's the Lunenburg Agricultural Commission. You have to say friends of, or
Right.
throw a hook in there just to. And usually it's just reposting or just anything agriculture. There's like tons of like Facebook or Instagram, like positive, like ag things. I mean, obviously it's not going to be like the argument about pesticides and non-organic. I mean, that's just opened up a can of worms, but I don't know. And you need to figure out how you want to do it, who's going to do it, the whole, but most of it has to be, non-contagious. Like you just can't have anything contentious at all.
Right.
We all know what happens with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Drama.
Yeah, just like even like a picture of like a smiling cow. I mean, they can be taken 4 different ways, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
I think I think it'd be a good idea. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it would be a good idea, as long as we can figure out how to keep it drama free, not violate open meeting law, and just be an entirely positive thing. High hopes. All right, so then we've got all this other ongoing items that has been on our agenda for probably a year plus. The community gardens, farm inspections, swag, bylaw references to farm size, AgCom holding land, and map of Lunenburg farms.
Do we have a market update, like anything on the farmer's market, attendance, like, vendors? Anything?
If Greg and Shanine, if Shanine is available, I don't know. But I was in town hall the other day and I checked the mailbox and we had confirmation of money receipts for, it looked like 9 vendors, and there were 3 applications in the mail. So to my knowledge, there's at least 12. I don't know if Greg and or Shanina have anything else.
I have no idea. I don't do the market, but I know she's in a meeting for school
Okay.
stuff,
Sure.
but so I have no idea.
So I know we have at least 12.
Okay,
And then it's probably going to be more. And there was a new email today from somebody.
so I
Unfortunately,
got she picked up all that stuff the other day. I know
Good.
that when I texted you,
Yeah,
yeah, she picked up everything. So I'm sure her and Mike got that all situated.
excellent. So today, in fact, there was a new email about inquiry from a Lunenburg resident who sells succulents and soap. So unfortunately, we've got, I think, 2 or 3 already that sell succulents and soap. So I don't know.
One moved to South Carolina.
I'm sorry.
One of the vendors, the succulent vendors, moved to South Carolina.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, there's interest from a good distance, and the inquiries keep trickling in. So that's as much as I know.
Well, communications is good between managers and everybody, like we know what's going on, or
Yeah.
advice and-
Yeah. So the email that's set up on the Lunenburg Online is farmers market at Lunenburg Online, and that sends an email to Mike and Shanina and myself. So anytime somebody sends an email to that address, it goes to 3 people, and it's not uncommon for people to contact me individually, and I try to keep track of where it comes from, farmers market, or it comes directly to me. And if it comes directly to me, I forward it to farmers market so that they both get it. And that seems to be working out pretty well.
All right, awesome. That's good.
All right.
on the ongoing business, I think that was on there before I got on here, the farm size. What's that about? Is there anything like we need to take off to clean that up or anything like that?
Well, the issue itself would need to go to town meeting as a warrant article. But the reference is bylaw references to farm size. So our zoning bylaw, which is called the protective bylaw, in a handful of places references the old requirements for farm size, which was 5 acres plus the minimum zoned. Actually, that's a little bit unique to Lunenburg, but basically, to have a farm qualify under the 61, which is tax law, and 40A is zoning. So 40A says that a farm is 5 acres or more. And the tax law, which is 61, which is the chapter land program, also requires 5 acre minimum, but it's exclusive of residents and impervious, like your driveway, your house, your barn, structures are excluded from that 5-acre minimum to be for the chapter, for the taxation benefits. And it's 10 acres for forestry.
What's the acreage that needs to go with a house and driveway? Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, typically, Lunenburg specifically states it as the minimum lot size for your zone. So if your residence A, I think Res A is 1 acre and Res B and outlying are 2-acre minimum. So if you're in Res A, to be considered a farm, you technically need to have 6 acres. And if you're Res B or outlying, you technically need to have 7 or more. And it's because it's written in our bylaw that way, it can't. Okay, so the issue came up, I think it was 2016, that the state of Massachusetts revised its minimum size requirements. It reduced it from 5 acres down to, I think it's 2 or 2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
And there are income requirements involved with that reduction as well. So basically, the ongoing item of the bylaw references to farm size is a push to incline us to get a warrant article together to bring to town meeting and have it voted upon to see if the town is interested in reducing that. Because even though the state has reduced it, just the fact that it's in our bylaw, it enforces the old number for us. So if there's an interest at town meeting to reduce that, then we can conform to the state's new minimum.
Was it put on our agenda just because the state reduced theirs, or was there someone in town that was looking to get it reduced?
Well, it wouldn't help everybody because as we've seen, people are doing more with less, and White Mars is the perfect example of that. I don't think you have even 2 acres there, do you, Jorge?
3.9.
2.9?
3.9.
3.9. Oh, okay. Well, then it would help you.
We tried it once.
Well, we approached the Board of Selectmen, I believe, at the time. Now the Select Board.
Yeah.
I think, and that was kind of like a conversation.
I thought we tried it I thought we did it at town meeting, and the response was kind of, what's the limitations? What are the what's to say you can't have 20 horses on your 2.5 acres?
Yeah, that conversation was at town hall in front of the Select Board. And it was most of the pushback we got was from 2 members that are no longer members. But I do remember specifically that meeting. I unfortunately I wasn't there, but I did watch it, and it was Jeff Mendoza, it was Doug McMillan, and I believe Renee Trakamas were there. And they presented the idea, and it just kind of felt like they got bombarded with somewhat ridiculous questions.
Right.
And they didn't have the information to be able to say, well, that's regulated by this, and this is that, and this isn't an issue because of this something else. It's unfortunate, but I think it's worth trying again.
Sure.
Jorge, so what are you considered with the 3.9? And were you residential and you turned it agriculture?
Yes.
How was that process? How did you go about starting it and looking into it?
Well, I just I figured when we moved here that because it was a right to farm town, it was just allowed. So I just did it like that. But then I got in trouble, and I had some kind of troubles. But now everything is okay.
Good.
So-
Matt, do you know anything about like the paperwork, I guess, and all that going through to get that?
Yeah, so I can add to Jorge's story a little bit. And please, Jorge, correct me if I misspeak, but my understanding was that you had that planned out through NRCS.
Yes.
Okay, and then when it became an issue, when the neighbors complained about it, Conservation Commission got involved. And once, I think was Mr. Christopher was the engineer,
Yes, Crystal.
represented them at the conservation meeting and explained that they did in fact have an NRCS permit. NRCS is Natural Resources Conservation Services. It's a state program. And basically, what they technically did was the opposite of what's usually happening. They converted residents to agriculture. And they may have done it a little bit haphazardly and abrupt, but they had, excuse me, they had all their permits in order. And I did watch that Conservation Commission meeting as well. And our conservation agent, Matt Morrow, said to the commission in no uncertain terms that there's no jurisdiction for the Conservation Commission to be coming down on White Mars. And it all just kind of went away. It was my recollection.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the one complaint was like tree cutting, like late or early morning tree cutting or something.
Well, Tractors at 3 a.m. is
3 in
sounds
the
familiar.
morning, cut down trees or something.
Yeah, that's probably a no-no.
But in the right to farm bylaw, doesn't it say the noise associated with regular farm activity?
Yes, but regular farm activity seldom happens at 3 a.m.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Jorge.
Yeah, but I didn't even went to the hearings because Christopher advised me not to go. But we never did work at 3 a.m. because it's even hard to see at 3 a.m. So I don't know where that complaint got. Yeah, because we started at sun up and finished at sundown because it's illogical to work in the dark.
Yes.
And dangerous for me, for us. So I don't know where that complaint or who did that complaint or well, I got advice not to go to the hearing because there were being some mean things from the neighbors. So Christopher didn't want us to get into a conflict, a bigger conflict. So I didn't really know who was the neighbor who put the complaint.
Oh, also from watching that Concom meeting, the two complaints that I remember were tractors at night and the logging equipment ran over our flowers. So I'm not justifying running over people's flowers, but I don't think that it rises to the level of being a legitimate complaint. Just my opinion. So does that answer your question, Mary Ray?
Yes and no. Where would someone start to possibly, if it's even possible, get a residential lot into agriculture for the 61A?
Well, I unfortunately I don't remember her first name, but there's a Padula in town that works for MDR and specifically in the APR group. And I think she was listed on the agenda for the select board when Pierce was trying to get their the buy-in from the town for their 10%.
Yeah, she actually did the I saw that meeting. She actually did the presentation on the APR, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So APR is a step above chapter, Because APR is permanent protection, whereas chapter is you've got to file. If it's ag or recreation, you got to file, I believe, every year, and for forestry, you've got to file every 10.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Maybe-
we have APR land. I was just looking for like the residential lot that abuts the farm property.
Okay, well, again, it would have to meet the minimum requirements of the 5 acres on top of the residence. And then it's just a matter of making the application. I have heard some horror stories from people in town who have 20, 30 acres and have been denied by the town to enter the chapter program, being called gentlemen farmers. They were only boarding horses, numerous reasons. But I honestly don't think that it's the place of the town of Lunenburg to tell somebody that they're not eligible for a state program. I think that is the place of a state person. And I completely disagree with the sentiments that I heard were expressed from the town. And honestly, I don't know exactly who. I would assume it would be somebody in the assessor's department. Historically, I mean, the assessors know what they need to know, but typically are a little bit lacking in the knowledge of the APR or the chapter program. We have a regional assessor, I believe Harold Schneed, who has office hours in town, I think once a week, I'm not sure, but that would be the person locally. And then again, I love MDAR, Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources. They are a wealth of knowledge, and if they're not the people you need to go to, they can tell you who you need to go to. And I'll say it again, that NRCS is a great proponent. They get behind agriculture and farms. So NRCS would be another place to go to.
Okay, thank you.
And I think it's been a while since I looked at our town webpage, but I think there might be, I know there's links to MDAR. There might be NRCS as well. I don't know. But neither here nor there. If there aren't, there should be. All right, anything else? We have one more meeting before our market opens. I think our meeting will be the week after the first market in June. So we've got May. We decided not to spend the money on signs. If we ask nicely, we can probably get some promotion in the billboard in front of the Ritter. Yeah. All right. So public comment, open discussion. Round 2.
I'm good.
All right. Our May meeting will be on the 20th. It'll be late. So the third Thursday is the 20th. So May 20, we will be back here again, hopefully with some minutes to approve. And I will hopefully reach out to the town and reach out to Jorge and clarify everything that needs to be clarified for the reappointment process. Again, it's going to be a matter of a recommendation from the commission and an appointment with the select board, and that'll be it, I think.
Now, are you gonna, can you send out that letter that Mary Ray did? Or if you don't want to do it, I can do it. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me.
I do want to do it. I don't know why I haven't, and no excuse for it. I do. So hopefully I will do it very soon. I think it's important not only for us, but it's important for the residents, the farmers, and the people who are dealing with the complaints currently.
Yeah, that's true too.
So we've set our next meeting. And if there's nothing else, then I guess I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Motioned and seconded. Is any further discussion about adjourning? I will have to ask all in favor, but roll call. Jorge.
Yeah.
Aye.
Hi.
Ryan.
Aye.
Greg.
Aye.
Mary Ray.
Hi.
And is Stephanie the full-time member?
I'm
Kim-
not, I'm an alternate.
You're both alternates. Okay. All right, then I didn't.
I'm an
Yeah.
alternate too.
Yep, I remembered this time.
Kira.
Very good. And an I for myself for adjourning. And we are officially adjourned at 7:57. Thank you all for a very good meeting, and have a great month. And
You too.
be seeing y'all. Take care.
See you guys.
Take care. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.